Yes, I recorded this on a Chromebook. Hello, everybody! It's your boy, the Cat of Object Shows here, and it's been an entire year since I released the pilot episode of Object Set Gaming. Look, the huge support you all have given me this past 365 days always makes me really happy, so thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. Because today is the anniversary, I have decided to take a trip through memory lane and rewatch this first episode, critique myself a bit, since I definitely improved. Yeah, I'm definitely going to give a little commentary about it, and also some behind the scenes facts about the production and how I got to basically where I am today. Well, by no means am I perfect back then, but I still feel very proud of what it created, and it really holds a special place in my heart. Before I start watching, I want to give a little story about how I basically made the production happen. So I started out on Algodo, you know, the program with the marble races, which inspired Red. Yeah, I drew all the characters' designs on that program, and then I transferred those ideas to Adobe Animate, where I basically learned the basics of the program and basically everything you need to know about object show animation. And then I went through a couple test short animations, two of which are some of my earliest uploads. I made an intro before I even started writing, and then I learned more things, and then I started production on the episode. So, when I released it, I had 64 or around that subscribers. Now I have 8 times that amount, but I've grown a massive following since then, and let's just take a look at how it all began. So, without further ado, let's go. Alright, before I even start, I just want to point out the audio and animation. Like, the audio back then didn't really fit the lip syncing as much as it should have, and I want to kind of critique myself on that. Episode 2 had a similar case, and the animation, although smooth, I've definitely learned a lot new things, especially when I learned from really good tutorials out there from like Fusion Animations made a really good tutorial series about object show animation. So I learned from that. My father basically taught me how to use Adobe programs. Thank you, Dad. So yeah, let's continue. This is unscripted, by the way. All right, here are the first set of characters.
Yes, I won. Good game. Oh man, it was very close. Still feel like I'm bad at this game. What?
The animation was a bit. I mean, I liked it, but some of the leg animations kind of didn't skew as well.
Well, thanks guys. I'm glad you're there for me. Just happy to help. You up for another round? Okay.
Alright, next let's talk about Cookie, how I voice her and other female contestants. Well, except Grapey, right? I mean, with most female contestants, I tried to high pitch my voice. Like in a normal stance, I didn't like edit it or anything. This was a solo project, just to tell you. I did literally everything. Every bit of writing, every voice, every frame of animation, every background. This was a solo project. I did all the work. Well, I did get some help from like my dad and stuff, but the majority of it, the vast majority of this was me. Now I have a actual crew to help voice the cast, and I also have a bit of help with the design work now for episode 4. So I tried to scream here.
Why are you doing this to me? So what? I just find you putrid enough to chase. I can't take this anymore. Sucky!
That transition, like with this, not that bad. It could have been a bit better though. Like, look how this just changes like this quick. You can still see broccoli like over here. You can still see a little bit of him. Continue.
Sucky, we have a problem. I am being bullied. Coming.
The arm. This should have been behind Orangey. Yeah. I wasn't the most experienced with layering back then, which I am now. So just so you know,
Soggy? Yeah?
I actually loved how I written the scene. It was really well made. The cliffs don't look that bad, actually. They look decent.
This might be a good time to scream right now. Oh, glove.
Again, with screaming, like layering the voices so that they're together. I did not know how to do that back then. Silly me. Orange, you got a bruise. Uh-oh.
Ow. No. I got a bruise. I must destroy myself to get it off.
Okay, so Orangey dies here. So, in OAG, there are no recovery centers, actually. So, contestants basically have to survive, basically. I tried to do something where there were some cases where object shows would kill off their contestants and then recover them immediately after. I tried that, but I think it just didn't work in the long run.
Soggy, are you okay? I'm a gray stocking.
That's actually true, actually. He's actually a stocking. Sometimes people call their Christmas stocking socks, and that's kind of what I got his design from, so he's actually right.
You're a sock, silly. My name is Orangey, if you don't remember. I am an orange. Ugh. I must have lost my memory somehow. Yeah, you hit the ground pretty hard. I'm feeling dizzy and sick. We need a doctor. Spaghetti! I'm here.
It's a smart one. Also, that arm, again with the layering, the arm should have been behind the rope.
Saki lost his memory and is acting weird. Feed him this pill.
Wonder how he got that. Like, let's take a look at the animation. He just right there. Wonder how that happened.
This pill. No, yummy.
He just eats it.
It looks okay to me. All my work here is done.
Again with the layering. This looks a bit off. Not bad. Then Spaghetti just swiftly climbs up. It's not really realistic. You can't just climb up a rope like extremely fast and then end up all the way back in the mainland. That's probably at the edge of the cliff, I think.
Whoa. How'd you know?
Mustache slides in and...
Are you sure you want me to tell you everything? Yes.
By the way, Spaghetti has a 3000 IQ. 10 times above the pretty much maximum 300. So he's beyond a genius.
It all started back when I started preschool. I was studying extra hard information so often, I skipped every grade to reach college in a flash.
So he went to college at the age of like 5 or something. Objects don't have ages, but that's what could have happened. Like, if you were as smart as Spaghetti, you'd be in college, like, by the time you'd really be in, like, kindergarten. So he is pretty much beyond a genius.
I even took so many classes so fast, you can see my 1000 master's degree.
Yeah, spent, like, pretty much a decade or so taking several college courses, and yeah, he's a genius.
That's so impressive. We should be best friends. Yes!
Okay, transitions like these I did in Adobe Premiere after I finished all of the animation for the episode. And again, my dad taught me how to use Adobe Premiere, so I could really work with these. So you'll be seeing more of these in the episode, and you also probably see one or two of these in episode 2. But after that, I didn't really do the transitions anymore, and I also didn't use the camera tool anymore. Like, you can see all the transitions, like the zoom-ins and stuff, were the camera tool in Adobe Animate. I don't really use that anymore. Well, I do it. Well, no, I don't do it. I just take the entire, every single thing in the scene, make it a symbol, tween it, like move it somewhere, and then that's basically my transition. So,
Hey, Blender.
Illuminati's voice is so much different. Like, it changed from my normal voice. So now this is what I sound like. Just so you know.
Get over here. Cool legs wanna talk. What are the chances I throw you across the horizon far away and you die?
Spoiler alert, Illuminati actually dies as well.
Do that. Too bad. No. Save
Ah, limbless blueprints. This was before all this happened.
Frenchie? I could, but I have no arms. Besides, he's trash.
He dies the same way Orangey did. Before confessionals were a thing. Like, this is the static I used. Not that bad for first attempt. I still use this, actually. And then here's a confessional booth. There's a bit of a corner error right here with the lines.
I just found two of the worst people on the whole planet. Too bad that they have lost their brain.
Before the competition even begins, there's confessionals. Just like that dude said.
Death is never the answer, Blunder. Just go away.
Alright, the girls. I tried voice acting like female voices in this. I mean, Gravy was the only one that I really did, I don't know, normally well with. I gave her like a voice like Edna Mode from The Incredibles. Very pessimistic, like something like that.
Is everything alright, Gravy? Get away. Don't you want to spend time happier and more positive? I've had so much worse, and now leave. But everyone needs to be happy. Even Gravy Great somewhere else. Alright, let's have fun. Fun does not exist
Gravy.
in my personality. I don't know why, though. Everyone needs to be happy more often. Have fun being sad, then.
Uh-oh.
Fun being sad.
That changed her mind. Now here are these three. Shelfie's supposed to be a little bit larger. Considering that he is the largest contestant, he should probably be like the combined height of PS and Sombrero. I would say that.
That's what I call the way of the ultimate.
Alright, so if you didn't know, I'm trying to learn Spanish in like life, really. Next year, in sophomore year of high school, I'm going to be taking Spanish for my first year. I also learned a bit of Spanish from my family, so this is how I got my experience. Also, Cactus's asset is directly on Sombrero, to show its culture, really. And I also tried my best with speaking Spanish, because this is my first time, like, really, really working with it. But I'm gonna be better someday. Foreshadowing. PS is a bit tilted in this scene. He should be more in an upright standing position. Here he is. Here's Watery. He doesn't know about it yet. That shows his very bored personality, for sure.
Hello, I've brought a little friend for you. Hey!
Look out!
Go away. Have fun, you two.
My best attempt at maniacal laughter. I'm definitely better than that.
I just want to play. What part of leave me alone do you not want to include?
I think I kind of wrote that in because everyone, when they say that, says, what part of that do you not understand? I try to do something else there.
I don't care. Just hang out. No, thank you.
Uh-oh.
Can you stop annoying him? He doesn't like it when you come out of nowhere and scream like that. I can't help it.
Gravy Watery. Always going out real happy. He just wants to be his friend. Like, come on, dude.
You have to be more of an optimist if you want to make friends.
The two-headed contestant, Plant.
What even is a friend? Some kind of mother-in-law?
I just kind of wrote that in for, like, randomness purposes.
I'll give you help by my side.
Yeah, that was my sound effect. Something like that. Here's Red. He's very sad. Yeah, Red and all the other colored marble characters were inspired by the marble races that I used with Algodu, because I was also fascinated by those, like, back in 2017. June 2017 was when I drew all the characters, so.
Ow, that hurts me. Sorry, we just fell. It's fine. Hey, are you Plant? Are you dumb? Of course we are. Wow.
Plum, come on. Do you want a chance to win?
Take my money. You're trying to earn some. Now please only find everyone else. Happy to help. Is this what this friend thing is?
Okay, I actually saw Plant's, like, flower pot, like, not leave the scene. That was a bit of an error.
Here are these losers you were wanting to find all day.
Plant walked a lot faster than Red did.
So, yeah, why not introduce myself? My name is Red, former Marble.
He says that because he like when I was doing Marvel races, I actually did like 10 solo, like private. They're not uploaded or anything. They're definitely not. Like I joined YouTube in 2019, like March 2019. I did like some marble races by myself. I'd always rig it to make red win every time because red's my favorite color. And because of this, he used all of his winnings as the grand prize for his object show, basically.
Marble. You don't even look like one. Well, I'm a round sphere. Close enough.
Yeah, he's an Algudu marble, technically.
I was about to say that I'm looking for 23 more contestants to compete alongside Plant in my new object show, Objects Like Gaming. You guys should know how these work by now, if you feel like becoming a centillionaire.
I should have really had Red, like, say this stuff instead of this, like, screen thing. I felt like it definitely should have flowed better with the plot line, because it might take a bit long for viewers to read all this quickly. But when I did, I tried my best to make it, like, long enough for people to actually take the time to read it. And $1 centillion is like the 100th alien. So let's say million is the first alien, billion's the second, quintillion's the fifth, centillion's the 100th, because, of course, centi in root words means 100. So it's the 100th alien. That's like all the money in the known universe. All the money in the known universe. Red is wealthy.
Are you guys wanting to play? If this is about competition, then yes, please.
He's a strong guy.
2 whole years.
Alright, 2 whole years. Yes. Because this was voice acted in July 2019, I started production in June 2017, as I said before. So if anyone didn't know what that meant, that was when production started on like the entire concept of the series.
I'm in. I'll compete. As long as this guy's in for it as well. Alright. Fine. As long as we're on separate teams and you're eliminated early.
Oh, he's threatening him.
Moving it to choosing team leader. Follow me to your first challenge. Ready when you are. So, 24 contestants. $1 centillion, but one winner only.
I did 2 takes of this part, and this one that I put in the episode sounded a lot more energetic and a lot better than the previous. The previous was too low-pitched and less excited.
This is Objects at Gaming!
That sound effect was added in Premiere. Okay, here is the beta intro I made before I wrote the episode. Yes, I did all this before I even made the episode in general. So this handwriting was just the line tool in Adobe Animate. This is just the line tool, and the current intro uses actual text. So it's a lot better. Let me turn it a little bit lower so you guys can hear me. Yeah, a lot of the assets look so much different than they are now. The biggest example, I don't know if you can see it, the corners of the lines are in a round shape instead of like a square quarter. So they look a lot different. I'm probably going to go through every contestant and show you what's different. Blueprint, the white grids are a smaller outline. These limos. Broccoli, about the same, but again, the square edges. Cactus, kind of the same-ish. I think that shading is a darker color. Cardi, the letter A for the ace is different than the current one. Like, let me take a look. It's like an actual, like shape rather than lines. Cookie's pretty much the same. All right, football. His tattoo is a lot lighter, and also the I don't know what they're called, laces. Like when you hold a football and grip it, they're a lot different. Like we take a look, you can see right there that they were an similar case with Cardi and the letter A. They were actual like shapes and not lines. Gravy about the same. Illuminati about the same. As with Lampy, although this was a lot different. The lighting on the light. You really cannot see it, but this is like a triangle shape. Well, this is an actual line like the shading. Metally, about the same as the episode. Mustache about the same. Same. Pinata, the strings were differently drawn. Pink sunglasses, so much different. Does not even look like sunglasses. Like, I did a terrible job. Plant, the flower pot looks so much different. Shelfie, about the same. Snowflake, about the same, but I think her outline was a lot lighter. Zaki, kind of similar-ish. Not really, though. I think this part was differently drawn and the shading was different. Sombrero. I think Cactus's outline was a lot larger, because in scale with the previous, if it shows, it does not show. Or I think it needs to go back here. Yeah, it was like the same, like, scale down, because I didn't do, the line to fill for, like, a shape. Outside of that, Sombrero looks pretty similar. Spaghetti is very, very skinny compared to this appearance. Like, I know he's a noodle, but still, like, I want to at least fit a face and limbs on him. TP, about the same, but there's no outline here. Watery. I tried, like, making it, like, very expressive with all the face assets, but this just does not look good to me. Here's Renchi. He had no, like, I don't know what the parts of an object are called, like, when in terms of, like, building them. But there's something, like, right here. All the little 8 semicircles, like, circled around. They just there. Outline on the 2 edges, not look good either. And here's a classic screen. Going up, 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 up. Zoom out. Okay, what I originally had here was just every bit of the world just spawns in. And then red just comes out of here. I feel like this part was very, I don't know, like, dragged out too long, and it should have been a lot shorter. And the logo also looks poorly drawn compared to the current. It's just lines and a poorly drawn controller. Very poorly drawn, honestly. Oh, I don't know where this location is. It's not even located on the map. Pink Sunglasses says it's rigged because, I don't know, like, every time I play Four Corners, I just get the worst luck. I really get the worst luck. I'm out, like, within the first 2 rounds. That or at the very start. And if I ever make it far, I've never won a game of Four Corners in my life. It was super hard for me to get lucky. So, corner, like, right here, then color, like, down there. It says red me because it's him. Those marbles exist as well. Oh, let me turn it back up for you viewers to hear the audio. That's another marble friend, Black. The other 2 marble friends, Lime and Maroon. Why did I write this in? Like, they don't need to be knowing that this is a YouTube series. I broke the 4th wall accidentally several times because, I don't know, I just didn't really know that much better back then. Especially for a contestant to reference it. Like, they don't need to know that they're in a show. Like, I don't know, I am not breaking the 4th wall ever again, just so you know. Except for Red, because he is the only one with direct contact with the viewers. He's the only one who can talk to them. I feel like there should have been a scene where it showed the first round and how it worked, and it should not just went to the finals. Who's gonna win? Like, when this happened, like, in the previous times I played, when there were, like, 4 people remaining, there would be 1 person in each corner to just get somebody out. But the 2 people being called wasn't in there. Bad luck. Oh no, Renchi's a leader.
I'm Renchi. You
Oh
choose,
goodness.
challenge, and have the right of choosing team. Just so he doesn't kill me, I'll let Renchi choose first.
I did this to flow with the plot because, of course, Renchi is a very, very mean player. And if he was chosen second to choose teams, you do not want to know what happened.
Yes!
You know what would have happened, I meant.
Thank me later. Team captains also get individual immunity the next time your teams lose.
I did this to save Renchi.
I mean, that's good to hear. Okay.
Yeah, transitions like that I did in Premiere. It's impossible, or at least extremely not possible, to do so in Adobe Animate. And also, the team choosing scene, I basically randomized this with like a random name generator and sorted them into two teams of 12, but I put them in an order in which they would flow well in an object show and how they would interact with one another.
So, to start off, I can't do this.
Renchi has a bad social game.
Choose or I'll choose for you.
Pressure.
So bad. Well, I'll choose for you. I have no other choice. So, Cardi, you can go to Renchi's team.
So that's what happens. Choose a teammate. The other person choose a teammate. Repeats. Renchi did not want to choose anyone because he hates everyone. So, well, he hates everyone and wants to bully everyone. So, what? This was not the animation. So after the woohoo, Cardi fell on the floor like this. I don't know what was up with YouTube today, but something must have happened.
I won't take as long. I pick Cookie. Back to me. I guess Orangey. Easy pick. I want
Orangey was not happy with that decision.
Lampy. He seems like a teammate. Snowflake. Let me think.
Orangey's giving the angry eyes because he wants Saki on his team. He wants his friend, but of course Renchi wouldn't do so because Renchi has a strong hatred towards like weak competitors like Watery and Saki. Even though he clearly later on chose Watery to really annoy Lampy even further because he did not want to be on his team.
Fine. I pick that stupid Saki.
Orangey is satisfied now. Mustache is a bit scared because he doesn't want to be separated from his friend.
Really help us run a tightrope. Thanks for choosing me. Also, please choose Mustache next.
Although clearly Spaghetti wants him on his team due to their recently growing friendship that just formed like around here.
I'm cooked up and thrown around without him.
That's what actually happens to spaghettis when they are being made for like dinner. They're cooked up, thrown around in a little melting pot full of boiling water, something like that.
Friendship always comes first.
Aww. Oh no! Wow, nice whisper yelling, T-Coos. I was not really doing a good job at screaming in like big moments like that.
Poor guy. I choose Illuminati. I choose Blueprint. He's a music artist. If I was a music artist, I would have been chosen a little earlier. I'm so disappointed.
He doesn't know about his records and stuff? Come on. Uncultured Renchi.
Toilet paper. Sombrero, I guess.
He doesn't want to be chosen. Look out, Lampy. Oh no.
I hate you, Reggie.
Again with the whisper yelling. I should have done better, honestly. That was a YouTube error. Like, that should not have happened. Let me go back and replay that. For old time's sake. Okay. Everyone, I've gotten some confusion about this. This line right here does not reference you-know-what. It doesn't reference you-know-what, and I'm gonna prove it with the original script. So here was the original lines when I was writing the episode on the Google Doc. When was this written? April 12th, 2019. This is an entire year and a half before you-know-what came on our lives, because it didn't exist back then. it really referenced a scene in Despicable Me 2, that really good animated movie, where they were at the Cinco de Mayo party and Gru was separating Margot and Antonio, the new kid, because they were so like attached. And Gru said, "Step back 6 feet" or something like that. It references that. So now you know that it's something completely different, and it was probably just bad timing. I was a sad prophet. Shelfie's mouth was very large. I shrunk it later on.
We need to make this quick. Gravy is the only decent choice I have now. Pink sunglasses, come to the steam, safe at last. Please let it be safe. I've been through too much.
Ooh.
Madeline, plan, blender.
Chosen fast.
No. This means
The mean one.
You absolute bad person. I should have been chosen.
Wow, what an insult.
This team will be called Team Birthday Party, and Reggie's team will be called Team Fix It.
I drew that team logo on purpose because Renchi has a very bad attitude. So I just put it into the nuts and bolts, the octagon-shaped nuts and bolts, and its team leader in the team logo. And of course, Renchi was not happy.
That's a horrible name. I demand a new name.
Of course.
The challenge is to pick one member of each team for a foot race. Go, 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 go.
I felt like this was too fast. It should have been a better team challenge. Although I didn't want to make the first episode too long, because I didn't want to really bore viewers on the very first installment of the series.
I did not want to tell you earlier, but I was chosen to run across country. Look at that. We found someone. That's what I mean. I'm not a fast runner.
Yeah, that's sad news. Despite someone who really likes playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
Come on, then, football. You're one of the best players we have. We have a really good shot if you decide to do
Motivation.
You know what?
It works.
I think I want to do this race this time. Show him some love.
I feel like football's right hand should have been shaking Gabe's right hand. That's really how it works in life. Saki was too quiet in the scene. Way too quiet.
You'll just trip and fall. You have potential, Reggie. Just a race.
That yes was way too quiet. I should have spoken up back then. Alright, here's the final transition in Premiere, and wasn't the best one because you can see that I'm going frame by frame back and forth. That it just doesn't look like that. You just blender and then boom, you're right there in the foot race.
You guys ready? Yes, let's go.
Although I kind of like how I drew this, though this is a bit too close. It looks like it's going off the edge.
Then 3, 2, 1, go.
As cool as those screens look, I felt like it should have shown them running. Uh-oh.
Almost there. Just a few more feet.
I think football should have been moving at least a little bit. Yeah. And then he was super close to the finish line. Oh yeah, it was a YouTube error. I'll just play it again for good measure. Fell, and then Saki wins for Team Fix It. Small animation error. Pinata should have been walking. I forgot to turn on play once for those legs. And they're still on single frame the entire time. They're discovering it. They know. You've been caught. You've been caught. So now we know he's a vengeful person. Another YouTube error there. They caught him. The mean ones always get out first. Although this is not a viewer vote show for elimination, I still got the mean one out first. Although I could have done something else, but goes to show, if you mess up during the challenge, you mess up during the entire game later on.
And with that, surprisingly, Team Fix It wins the first challenge.
Surprised, eh? He proved his point that Saki was good for the team. You forgot.
And you too as well.
I should have been like yelling and expressed myself even more. That's probably the last I critique myself with audio and speaking up.
Just so you know, viewers, no contestant or viewer voting.
Okay, why did I write this in? Because I could have just said that it's a contestant vote show. I didn't have to say this to say that viewers aren't going to control who gets out, who doesn't, who wins, and stuff like that. I should have just said that this is a contestant vote show, so viewers don't vote for anyone to be eliminated, stuff like that.
The kind of object chosen.
Although I have a set elimination order, 3 years spanning, I should have just simply said this is a contestant vote show. I didn't have to say all of this. It was confusing.
Making it
What happened there?
the kind of object chosen.
Another
Clearly found a winner and
pause play error.
making it rigged. So just tune in to find who stays in and
I could have just said that after I said it's a contestant vote show. And that's the end. That is the credits. And that is how I have released the very first episode of OSC. I want to thank all of these people for inspiring me to get on up there, open my computer, open Adobe, and create the show. So, episode 2 is right here. So, that was the first episode, and that was basically my commentary of it. I still cannot believe it's been a year since I released this. Also, one last thing before I stop this screen recording. I've seen your comments about episode 4. When's it coming? Oh my glob. Why have I not been working on it like at all? Why am I so lazy? That was all exaggeration. But yes, please understand that I'm working hard to get it out this spring, and I'm doing all I can to make this 4th episode the best I've ever made. It's probably going to be a little bit better than episode 3, which is saying something because 3 is the best of the current, trilogy. So yeah. So far, 2 out of 11 scenes in episode 4 are 100% animated. A third one should be finished by the time I go to sleep tonight. So, yeah, expect a spring release. It's very unlikely to come out in March. Most likely scenario is April, but it could come out in May if there's more work to be done. So, yeah, that was the episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you all so much for supporting me over this past year. You guys are the best fans ever. So, yes, stay tuned for more videos coming soon, and I will see you all next time. See you!